Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Camp Ravenob webinar. We are starting here at 6 o'clock p.m. for our Cub Scout Resident Camp webinar. At 7 o'clock p.m., we will be doing the Scouts BSA Resident Camp webinar. So if you're here for Scouts BSA, come back later. You can also sit around and enjoy the information we've got for our Cub Scouts. But anyways, well, welcome everybody that's here. We know it'll be a smaller group than we'll have later. But be sure to share this information back with your pack as we get going through this. If you need to share it with folks, please do so. This link will be live as soon as this webinar is over for you to share it with other folks and share it to your families, your parents, any other stakeholders that may need it as we begin the process for you guys to come and join us on June 15th through 18th at Camp Ravenob for our Rowdy Ravens Race to Adventure. So we've got a racing theme this year. We've got a lot in store for that. We're pretty excited. We've been talking to a few of our local NASCAR companies and other folks that race vehicles around, and we're pretty excited about the potential on Thursday night, what may be coming to Ravenob to liven things up. So we'll keep that in mind, and we hope you guys will join in with the Cub Scout spirit and getting behind, different sort of racing attire, whether it be flags or race car suits, whatever it may be. We'll welcome it all. So we're pretty pumped about it. Just to go ahead and go over a little bit of logistics, if you would, go ahead and put in the chat, where you guys are from and what pack you're with, so we can take down our notes that you guys were with us this evening. Also, in that comment bar, you are welcome to leave questions through the duration of this webinar. We expect it to last about 30 or 45 minutes and maybe less than that, so we can get you guys out, as we know this is prime dinner time for everybody. So any questions, drop them in the chat. If you have questions later on, no worries. Just email us. Our emails are floating below. You can reach me at hunter.day@ravenob.com, or you can reach our registration team at registration@ravenob.com any point in time. We try to get back to folks within a day. Sometimes it gets busy this time of year as registration for summer camp is going live, so it may take us a day or two to get back with you. If you have quick questions or things like that, you can also give us a call. You can call the Scout office here at Old Hickory Council, or you can call the Camp Ravenob phone and go through the automated service to get in touch with us. So anything we can do to help you between now and June, that's what we're here for. So tonight, just a couple of things we're going to touch on to get you prepared for when registration opens on March 21st, for you to go in there and get everything done between the March 31st and April 25th. So we're going to get you prepared for that. We are also going to touch on some of our COVID procedures for the summer. We're going to go over some of our twilight activities and things of that nature. So we're going to get you through as much as we can, and show you stuff on the website to help you during this process. With us tonight, we've got Ash Stemke, our program director, and we have Max Kerpige, who is one of our admin team folks managing some of the social media and registration email accounts for us, who's going to facilitate. So if you put questions in the chat, we may answer them there. We may answer them live. So we will work with you either way. All righty. So we're going to get going. First thing we want to do is be sure that everybody knows where to find the Leader's Guide. And so if you go to ravenob.com, you should be able to find all the information you need to navigate Cub Resident Camp. Here on the banner page, you can see all sorts of stuff. The first one is talking about regular summer camp, but you can find the Cub Scout Leader's Guide here. If you click on this, it'll take you there. If you go into the Cub Scout summer camp bar right there, you can see everything that you need for resident camp, including a countdown, which it was awesome to see. We were under 100 days, so we've been watching that one tick down. We were under 100 days till resident camp. But from here, you can find pretty much everything you need. The Leader's Guide can be found right here, and you can see it load up. All right, and you can print this. This is much shorter than years past, as we do have some links built into this for online use if you need to find something on the website. But for printing, you should be able to print it pretty easily if need be. Other things you can find here on the website is a contact us, also access to the registration portal, which we will go to here shortly, and a few other things. So I just got this right here. All righty. And whatnot. And Ash, I think that did you have some stuff here that you wanted to talk about? All right.
Sure. You're talking about on the website, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I was going to talk about as far as our program goes, of course, we've got plenty of things for the Cubs to do during the day, kind of age-appropriate activities here or there. But one thing we've recently added to our website that I'd encourage you to kind of browse through and get the Scouts excited about is over there on the right on the menu where it says Cub Scout Resident Camp. There's a link that says Twilight Activities. If you click on that, Twilight Activities is what we call our evening activities at Raven Knob. The way Cub Resident Camp works is on Wednesday and Friday nights of the week, we do campfires at the arena for everybody. But on Thursday night, there's a lot of open programming around camp. And this is a sampling of some of the things we'll probably have open that evening. This kind of fluctuates and changes as we go. As Hunter mentioned, there may be some specific racing themed activities in addition to these, but we're pretty certain we'll be offering these things on that Thursday night, the opening program night. So there's things as far as we've got open, a lot of our program areas are just kind of open in nature. There's reptiles to see and handicrafts. There's crafts to create. We do bouldering, and the waterfront is open for swimming and boating. The trading post is open, a number of things like that. So as you're kind of figuring out what your week might look like at camp, I'd encourage you to look at this list and kind of have your Cubs start thinking about what they might want to be doing on Thursday night. All these activities are free and open and come and go as you please kind of stuff. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. So we'll have plenty to do on that open programming night, which I'm super excited about.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ash. And of course, there's other things in here that you can find. This menu right here is may not be the definite menu for the week, but it's something for you to look at. What to bring, all that good stuff can be found here. We also will be working with provisional scouts. If anybody does have a Cub Scout that would like to come as a provisional, meaning the unit's not attending, but the scout and the parent would like to attend, they can sign up here. This will go live at the same time, March 21st, for them to sign up, and it will allow parents to register there as well. And the way that works is we will pair them with another unit, somebody that can be more of a host, as we've done over the years. So just be sure to explore this. We do try to update things as much as we can. So check back in on a regular basis if we, decide to change some things up. Not necessarily changes, but additions. At this point, we're not going to make too many changes to our program, as we don't want to confuse you guys or get things off kilter. So if we do new things, it'll be additions to the program to give you guys more to do. But be sure to get this leader's guide and look over it, as it's got all the details that we need in it. I will mention a few things in here that will be of importance. On March 21st, again, that date will open for registration in Tinaroo, and we need a deposit of $50 per scout in the system by April 25th. Of course, if you have scouts that are joined late, we're happy to take them. We do like to push those deadlines to get a better understanding of what our supplies and needs are, and then we go from there. But as much as you can, get that stuff in there by April 25th. The fee this year is $155 for scouts and $80 for leaders. All right, and that can be paid by check here to the council office or online with a credit card or e-check. Of course, campsite arrangements, that will be done about a week, hopefully 2 weeks before you guys arrive, so you can plan. We have gotten your top 3 choices, and if you've not done your top 3 choices, you'll have the opportunity to do that in Tinaroo, so we can get you guys squared away. We do try to rotate folks around. We know that there's some campsites that people really like, but unfortunately everybody kind of likes, and so we do rotate around, but we try to get you one of your top 3 choices. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the time we do. When you attend Cub Resident Camp, we will need a medical form with parts A and B filled out. You may notice that National is coming out with a new medical form, but we will be using the current one for this summer. It's making some changes to the immunization records to help our medical staff best know if a situation were to arise, if you've been immunized for certain things. So be sure to check that out, and just keep going through this leader's guide, and you'll find a lot of things. Ash, do you want to talk about when we arrive to camp, what that process is like?
Absolutely. At Raven Knob, our check-in on our check-in day it starts at 1:00 p.m. And for Cub Resident Camp, of course, that's the Wednesday of our week there. So we anticipate that units will arrive starting at 1:00 p.m. We're actually going to do a sign-up system this year, like we've done for the past couple of years, where in advance we'll give you instructions for this as the day gets closer. But we'll have you sign up for a time for your pack to arrive. And when you arrive to camp, you'll go straight to your campsite. That kind of keeps things nice and easy for everybody to head on to where you're going to be staying. You'll be able to get unpacked and whatnot. But pretty soon after you arrive, you'll need to get ready for some things around camp. That includes your health screening and your swim checks and your pack photo, all of which are part of the check-in, and then a camp tour as well. We will have a staff member there to lead you around the camp and kind of show you where a lot of the important places are, the dining hall, the program center, and the trading post, and things like that. The health staff will be at regional locations around the camp to check all medical forms and make sure those things are good to go. And if any of your scouts need to take the swim test, that would be a time to do that as part of your camp tour there. So there'll be a few different things. There's kind of a busy afternoon on Sunday, so we encourage you to make sure you get there in plenty of time and arrive on time to make sure all those things get taken care of prior to supper. And then we do supper that evening and an opening campfire that night with plenty of fun skits and more. And that's kind of your Sunday.
Absolutely. And then past Sunday, Thursday, and Friday, we will have general sessions.
I said Sunday. I meant Wednesday. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Wednesday. And from there, we'll go into our sessions. And you can see the daily schedule in the Leader's Guide on page 12 if you guys need a copy of that to share with everyone. We'll talk about the dining hall for a minute. We're excited to get back in the dining hall. At this point in time, we will not be having our big tent that we had out in front, and we'll be doing assemblies back on the parade ground. And so we will be inside there. If you have a scout that has special food needs, either they have allergies or just special needs as far as food goes, there's a couple different ways that we can go out that. Number one is that we do need a special diet form filled out, which you can find under the Leaders Guides and Forms tab on the website to give us a heads up to help prepare. If you do have scouts that either you have parents that are very concerned and the scouts are concerned, or you may be concerned that we're not able to fulfill their need as far as the allergies. We do see several scouts that have a long list of allergies, and it does get difficult for our staff to maintain. We do allow for these special diets only if they would like to bring some food with them. We can store that in our dry storage or in our refrigerator freezer space. Unfortunately, we just do not have the room to, if anybody wants to bring something, to be able to store that, as we've got a lot of food that we have to store in the dining hall. But if you do have kids with special needs that the parents don't feel comfortable, working with our team, they are welcome to bring something on their own and help with that. But if you have questions about that, feel free to give us a call or shoot us an email, and be sure to share our contact information with the parents, as we're happy to talk with them as well about that. As we try to, ease their mind about coming to camp. We try to be as accommodating as possible, and we'll do everything in our will to make that happen. All righty. I know a lot of you are curious about COVID, and we are too. To let you know, we have not gotten a lot of information from the governor of North Carolina at this point as far as what it'll look like. The last time we got any sort of information was back in July, some guidance from the governor. It lightened several things up as far as how we want to structure COVID in camp and how our mitigation plans would work. And so we ran with that last year, working with our plan, working in correspondence with the local health department, and going off that and our health and safety team at Raven Knob. So we are constantly monitoring this and trying to figure out ways that we can, again, we don't know what summer's going to look like, but if we have to do things on a COVID schedule, which would change things up a little bit for us. We've got that in our tool bag ready to go, but we're hoping that we can get back to a normal summer. I get a lot of questions about masks. Currently, North Carolina governor has not released masks in overnight camps. Well, we'll see how that changes as things seem to be lifting that mask mandate as things go on. But we at this point are not able to give you the information that you're probably looking for to share with folks. We hope to have that in the next couple of weeks. I will tell you the last time we've gotten guidance from the governor, it's been in the May timeframe and sometimes early June. So we will keep you as up to date as we can. And so we will always, I think, going forward, have some of our policies that we've been doing during COVID, just as from a sanitation standpoint. There's nothing like being as sanitized as you possibly can. I think COVID has taught us that, and just being safe all around. So there's several things that we'll keep in place, and there's several things that we hope we never have to do again. But we will have some of those in place this summer, and we're constantly monitor the situation and work with our health and safety team and the Old Hickory Council. Just kind of keep that in mind. We know it's a big question, and there's a lot of changes happening right now. So we'll keep you up to date when we can. To give you, we'll talk a little bit about program. We've offered programs for the Wolf Bears, Weeblos, Arrow of Lights. At times we do have Tigers come to camp, and we normally pair them with the Wolf program and kind of gets them ready for the next year. We make sure everything's age appropriate for them, and they're able to do all of that stuff as far as the age appropriate guidelines for the Cub Scouts. We are looking at Lions. Lions are now allowed to attend overnight camping events with the council level or in your pack. And so we are trying to figure out a way to implement Lions into our program, but we just don't have the details at this point. You will notice when going through the Leader's Guide that several of the activities for Wolf Bear they're losing some of those elective programs. And so the Beat of the Drum and the robotics program for Bear are changing, and those will be dropped as from the BSA program, I believe, on June 1st. But we will not know what they are supplementing those with. We don't know at this point what they've added in. At this point, we're going to plan to run these robotics and the Beat of the Drum program just a little bit differently and keeping as exciting as possible. If we're able to change these by the time you get to camp, we will. So that way they go home with something new that the BSA has just come out with. But at this point, we are planning on keeping Beat of the Drum and the robotics sessions. They will not be able to count towards anything, but we're going to work towards possibly getting that changed for everybody. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. And you can see a camp map. This year we've gone to a new camp map. I will show it to you guys. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for you guys when you get to camp, but it'll look a little bit like this. And some of our volunteers have already seen that. And so when you guys get to camp, that'll be in your walking books. All right. So at this point, unless we have any questions, Max, Ash, are we good right now? Cool. Just a reminder, put your questions in the chat if you do have any. At this point, we're going to go over our registration, what you will do on March 21st. All right, so we're going to hop over to Tinaroo. If you guys haven't used Tinaroo, new to Tinaroo, have used it a little bit for maybe facilities or campery, things like that, this is going to be beneficial to you guys. Not much has changed over the past 2 years as far as how this process works. 2 years ago, it did an upgrade and kind of changed for us all around. To access the Tinaroo registration system, all you have to do is go to ravenknob.com, hit this login button. Oh, sorry, we are not sharing. All right, we're back. You'll hit this login button in the upper right-hand corner. You can also do this from a mobile device. It's just a little bit different. You'll hit a menu button, which will drop down. You can find the login button there. All right, you'll log in. Once you log in, you will see a page that looks like this. All right, this is a little bit different from what you'll see. You won't see these admin rights right here, but everything else will look pretty much the same. Every pack that we know that is attending at this point will see this already there. We've all gone ahead and registered you all for the event. We've gone ahead and plugged you in. That way we've got it in the system and ready to go. All right. So you will go in and first thing you'll want to do is update your unit count. So you'll click on this session 1. All right. And then you'll get this main screen here. You'll do a lot in this screen right here. First thing you're going to do is go in and update how many scouts you are bringing to camp. So say we're going to bring 4 scouts and we're going to bring 3 leaders and we're going to bring a den chief. Okay. All right. And so we normally only ask for 1 den chief. If your pack needs to bring more than 1, give us a call and we'll talk it over. But we normally work with 1 den chief. Okay. So you can add this in here and then you'll hit next. All right. You'll have an option here to select which 3 campsites you want to go to, or it may already be plugged in for you based off of registering through the simple form that we have on the website. All right. Then you're just going to hit complete from here. Okay. From here, you do need to check out. All right. It's going to require that $50 deposit per scout. And it looks like I may have to change this. Sometimes you do have to change it right here to show we got to pay the $50 per scout, and you can hit save. You can change this pay other amount button, or you could go ahead and hit the pay full amount. So we're going to do that right there. All right. And then we'll hit this. We'll go down through here. All right. You can input your billing, contact information. Who do you want everything to go to through there? And then right in here, you can input your credit card information or e-check. Okay. If you were to send a check to the council office or pay here at the council office, we will go in and manually add that in for you. All right. So that's how we do that. So I'm going to do something real quick so I can show you how to go on. So you won't do that piece. But once you do hit checkout, it'll take you back here to the home screen again. At this point, you'll be able to input your scouts and leaders. The best way you want to do that, and first thing you want to do, is go to manage my group over here to the right side of the screen. Okay, from here you can add in your scouts. You may say that Adam Moore is no longer a part of your pack. You can go in here and delete Adam from being a part of the pack, or you can go in and add a new scout. Okay, you will need all the information here. Some of them are optional, but we would like to have all of them filled out if possible. Especially in this top section, birthday, grade, shirt size, gender, all that stuff. So we know what to expect when you guys show up. So you can put in a scout here and hit save, and then it'll pop up in your group. Okay. So this will be the first thing you want to do is manage your group there. So anyways, all right. So then you can go back home, go to session 1. And then we're going to add a scout in. Okay. So what you'll do here is you can hit add participant. All right. We're going to add Nate Todd as our scout. We're going to confirm that all of his information that was here the previous year is correct. All right. Make sure to update this piece right here. All right. What their rank is. So we're going to say he's a tiger now, or actually we'll say he's a wolf. All right. You can also add in some of your dietary restrictions, though we would prefer to have it on the special diet form listed on the website. All right, this is just confirming he is a youth participant. And then you will be able to add in their sessions. So like I said, Nate is a wolf. So you'll go down through here. Actually, I think you can hit this right here. And you can type in wolf, and we're going to add the wolf program. Okay. Now, for those of you that may have seen the options for the Air of Light and Weeblo, you can see the options that you're going to get for the Wolf program in the Leader's Guide, which programs they're going to go through. Essentially, there's 4 sessions each day, and we're going to rotate you around. You'll be assigned to a walking group. That'll be, if you have other wolves from your group or other bears from your group, you'll be assigned with them, and you'll be in a walking group with them, and you'll be in the same sessions for the Wolf program. Our staff, May and Donna, if you guys don't know May and Donna, they are our Cub Scout camp coordinators who work on the admin side and the program side of getting everything squared away. So May Smitherman will sit down and get all these groups together, make sure everybody's paired correctly, and you'll get that information of where you go to in your walking books and your schedules at check-in at the leaders meeting on Wednesday evening. Okay. So we've added our Wolf program for Nate. We're going to go here, just going to hit complete, and then you're going to want to check out. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to do this so I don't get a receipt sent to my email. All right, and we have officially registered Nate as a wolf. All right, then we're going to go in, we're going to add another participant. We're going to add Adam. All right, Adam's going to be an arrow of light. So we'll go through here. Oh, looks like Adam needs an emergency contact. So it'll make you do that at times. All right, we've got, oh, it needs another phone number. Sorry. But we want all this information filled out. That way, if we do have an emergency, we're able to contact folks using this system or the health form. All right, so Adam is an arrow of light. And so what this will do is you can sign up for sessions how you want them. Okay, so say we want to do art explosion for first period. Okay, now it's going to take out all of the first period options. Now I'll have stuff for second period. I want to do game design for second period. Third period, you can go down through here, making sure you're sticking with the arrow of light option. We will do ultimate and BBs. And then we want to do climbing and rappelling. Okay. So then we've got all these here. We hit checkout. You will not see that campership option there. All right. And then pay minimum and check out for Adam. So that will be his schedule once he gets to campus. He'll have those sessions there ready to go. You'll do the same thing for adding your adult participants. All right. And so you'll just need to confirm because the adult and the den chief options will be in the adult section down there in the bottom, but I will confirm this as an adult. All righty. And we'll pay minimum amount. So there's no sessions to sign up for there. You'll continue on. And then we'll check out. Okay. So that is pretty much it on the registration side. You'll just always want to make sure you're checking out here constantly just to make sure everything is confirmed. If you leave stuff in your cart, if this is lit up green, it is not confirmed. Okay. So make sure that this cart, each time you're done, is empty, or you know you're going to come back and finish something. So, but make sure this cart is empty. All right. So we paid our $200. Okay. Then we're going to go in here and pay full amount. By the time we get to camp, you'll just hit the pay full amount button and go back through that same process again. So fairly simple. Overall, if you guys never used this system, just be sure to use this webinar back as a reference to help you all get through it. And if you have any questions, feel free to call us, email us, and we can walk through it over the phone or through email with you all. If you do not have an account or you don't have the login, maybe you just took over as Cub Masters, the summer camp coordinator, things like that, and you do not have access to Tinaroo, reach out to us, ravenob.com or hunter.day@ravenob.com, and we will get that information switched over to you. If you have somebody that you would like to be added as a contact, we're able to add 2 contacts in here. So you can have somebody as a primary and an alternate. That way they get all the correspondence, emails, and things like that, so everybody can stay up to date. So you can go in here and add this in. We can help you with that as well. And you can actually see your login here and your password there. Okay. So be sure to use this. If you do not have it, please let me know and we will get that to you. But please email us. Don't put that in the chat. Just reach out to us tonight or in the morning and we'll get that information to you. All right. Ash, Max, do we have any questions that we need to answer live here? Or we got everything squared away?
I think we got it. There was one question about den chiefs, but I think we've got that covered.
Okay. Good deal. All righty. All right. So that way you got everything in here on Tinaroo squared away. Again, if you need help, please let us know. And you'll just plug away. I do recommend if you do have a particular schedule for your arrow lights or weeblos that you would like them all to be together, I would recommend you that you get into the system as quickly as possible. On the 21st, it'll open up at 9 a.m. on March 21st to go ahead and get your arrow lights and weeblos registered, as their schedules depend on you and how you put them. Okay, so just keep that in mind if you want to get in there and get it going. All right, just trying to think here through my notes if there's anything we're missing. Max, is there anything that you need to go over here, or was that for the next one?
I think it was just for the next one.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm just going to double check this one more time. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to go ahead and put those in the chat because we're kind of wrapped up here. Just want to make sure we get it all squared away. Make sure we didn't miss anything. We do get questions about tents. If you're assigned to a tent campsite or an Adirondack site, we do get questions if you're allowed to bring your own tent. And the answer is yes, you can bring your own tent if you would like to. So keep that in mind. If you would like to bring a tent rather than stay in one of the camp provided tents, you can do that. In the leader's guide, we went through and changed things to give you a little bit of perspective of what to expect as far as the tents and the Adirondacks go. In our tents, you will have 2 bunks. Or cots, and we do expect double occupancy in those unless there's extra tents in the campsite. In the Adirondacks, most of the Adirondack sites have 6 beds in them, 3 bunk beds in each one with a mattress. So any mattresses that we do have are single sized, twin sized, and then you'll just bring your sleeping bag and use it how you need to. All right, just double checking here if there's anything else.
I've got a couple things I can say about aquatics related stuff that people might
absolutely go for it.
Sure. One thing I'll mention about the waterfront, I know one of the popular Thursday evening activities, of course, is going swimming or boating, and every level of Scout will participate in the aquatics program at some point whenever they select those things or go through that. If you could pull up on the website, go to just like the regular aquatics page, or the leader's guide. I think it's there. I think it's over on the aquatics page actually, which would be
on the program.
Yeah, try that. There we go. And over there, top right, it says swim checks. If you click on that, sometimes as part of the check-in process, as part of the camp tour, every pack will go down to the waterfront, kind of get oriented to the space there, and if necessary, do swim tests. And while you're certainly welcome to do those as part of the check-in process, we do encourage you to do those in advance if you'd like to. If you've got an adult leader who's trained in safe swim defense or is a lifeguard or has done aquatic supervision, they're qualified to supervise and sign off on those things. The procedures are right there. And there's actually a form for filling that out. I know most summer camps do things like this, but our swim check form is downloadable right down there at the bottom of the page. And in addition to filling out that form for your Scout swimming abilities before arriving at camp, we even have a way for you to upload it right there online on this very page. So once you've done the form, feel free to just scan it and send it electronically to us, and we'll go ahead and grab it there and have it ready to go so you don't have to bother with all the paperwork and stuff. One thing that I think is worth mentioning, though, about swim tests and swimming abilities in general, I know a lot of Scouts in the Cub Scout age are still kind of working on developing their swimming skills. All of the programs during the day for wolves and bears and webelos and arrow of light, all those programs are fully open to any Scout of any swimming ability. We have safety precautions in place to make sure that everyone stays in a situation where they'll be comfortable and is within safety policy and all of that. So regardless of whether your Cubs are non-swimmers, beginners, swimmers, whatever that might be, we've got programs for them during the day. In the evenings, as far as the open swimming and boating, once again, any swimming ability is welcome to come do that. Of course, in order to swim in deeper water, you've got to take a swim test, and that is the same swim test for anybody of any age or maturity. But the boat stuff in the evening, we have boating available for Scouts and leaders of all swimming abilities as well. So don't think for any of your Scouts, if there's some that haven't quite learned to swim yet, we've still got plenty of things for them to do at the waterfront. So just want to make sure you can do that.
Excellent. Thank you, Ash, for going over that. And so we look forward to getting them down there to the water. We know the aquatics area is one of the best places to see Scouts grow. And our aquatics team does a really good job of getting them comfortable in the water, as the lake may not be the normal swimming place for a lot of Cub Scouts as they get used to that pool, and sometimes not being able to see the bottom gets them a little freaked out. But our team will work with any Scout and hopefully get them to the point where they feel comfortable swimming in the lake and being a proficient swimmer. All righty. Let's see here. I think that was pretty much it. I will mention that we do allow mail and trips to Walmart, things of that nature that need to happen. We do try to keep coming and going as limited as possible during camp. But if you do see you need something, need supplies, things like that, you are welcome to run out to Walmart and get those things. If you are also welcome to tell your families they can send mail to their scouts if they would like to. And you can find that information in Leader's Guide about how to best do that. We do know, you should note that Cub Resident Camp is short, so you're only there for really 3 days. And so if you want to mail something to a Cub Scout, it needs to get out as quickly as possible. So that way it actually hits you while you're there.
Right.
We do have USPS, UPS, and FedEx that all come to camp on a daily basis.
And Amazon.
And a whole lot of Amazon multiple times a day from all of those providers. So
I will reiterate one thing Hunter just said about that. If you're wanting any of your Cubs to get letters or other packages in the mail while at camp, make sure they get mailed out 3-4 days in advance at least. If they arrive early, we'll hold on to them for you until you get there. But if they arrive late, we can't do anything about them. So,
yep. And we do also have the Send a Scout a Message program, which you can, instead of sending a letter in the mail, you can go in. It's a Google form that'll be live on the website where you or your family or a friend can go in there and send your scout a message so they can get it while at camp. All right. Anything else you're welcome to put in the chat. But at this point, I think we're going to wrap up the Cub portion of this. We'll start back here at 7 o'clock with the Scouts BSA Resident Camp webinar, where we'll go over some of the similar things that we'll cover here, but more specific to them. So if any other questions, you're welcome to put them in. But at this point, we are going to deactivate ourselves, all that stuff. I will say, hey, everybody that is here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button there below. Subscribe to Camp Raven Knob. We put up videos and webinars all the time. And that way you can stay up to date with anything that we do have coming out here. And so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get notified anytime we do a webinar or add a new video. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We're here for you. And we certainly look forward to racing to adventure with you guys on June 15th through 18th. All right. Thank you much. All righty. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Scouts BSA Resident Camp webinar, our second webinar this year. We're excited for everyone to be here with us. As you can see, a lot of folks are putting in the chat their troop name or troop number and where you're from. Go ahead and throw that in there, so that way we can keep track of who all has joined us here this evening. As we go through the night, we plan to be here for about 45 minutes, hopefully, and maybe a little longer, but we're definitely going to be done by 8 o'clock. Go ahead, and if you have any questions, put them in the chat bar, and we will answer those live. If you're not able to get in the chat bar, would like to reach out to us later, our emails are floating below that you can reach us at, which is hunter.day@ravennob.com or registration@ravennob.com. Currently, right now, we are experiencing pretty high volumes of emails as we start to get ready for registration and camp in general. So we try to respond within a day, and it may be 2 days or 3 by the time we get back to you. If you have a very urgent question, feel free to give us a call at the Old Hickory Council Service Center, or you can call Camp Raven Knob and go through there. Just hit the number 1 option, and it'll come straight to me. All right. As you guys are working over the next few weeks on getting all your sessions and things lined up, be sure if you do have questions in the evening, you are welcome to give me a call. Most of you have my cell phone number. If you don't, just reach out and we'll get that to you. So that way we can get the answers to your troop and your families as quickly as possible if you're looking for an answer while you're in front of the group. So tonight here with us, we've got Ash Stimke, our program director, Nate Todd, and Max Rapige, part of our admin team at Camp Raven Knob that kind of work behind the scenes through Tinaroo and the registration account. So sometimes when you're talking to folks, you might get them as kind of our technical team. So I try to think I'm technical until I have a problem. So anyways, these guys come to the rescue. Thank you guys for being here tonight. If you're not able to join us for the entire meeting, you know folks that need to watch this later on, be sure to share this with them. This will be available for viewing immediately after it's over. And that is a very funny comment that just popped up there. Yes, I did work on my honeymoon a few weeks ago, but nobody has to know that. Anyways, but if you have folks that weren't able to make it, if you need to watch this later, automatically upload. We are planning to do a webinar about the first Monday of every month leading up to camp, and maybe more than that if we have some information we want to get to you. We're trying to stay on top of working with you guys and getting information to you as quickly as possible, just to eliminate questions, eliminate phone calls, and make sure everybody's informed as much as we can be. Really quick, I am going to go to the website really quick. Our last webinar, we went over several things that was informative to get you ready, get you prepared, as session registration does open next Tuesday on March 15th at 9 a.m. At this point, everybody should have access to their Tinaroo account to go in and start making the $150 deposits and updating your unit count. If you haven't done that already, that's okay. You still have time, but I would recommend doing it before March 15th at 9 a.m. So that way you can get in there and get your sessions that you want. Okay. But I am going to share the website very quickly here. Max, I'm going to drop you from the screen here. Sorry. All right. So on the website, again, we just want to make sure you guys know where you can get all the information for summer camp by going to the Scouts BSA tab here. All right. From here, you can access pretty much anything you need. We are 103 days out. By the end of this week, we'll be under 100 days till summer camp, till week 1 of June 19th. We are very excited about that, and we are watching this thing go down, getting excited, getting anxious, and ready to greet you guys there. But all the information, forms, guides that you need, you can find right here. Leaders, guides, and forms, all sorts of stuff happening here. Some more we're going to talk about as we just dropped some new stuff that we had mentioned a few weeks ago in our first one. But all the guides and forms can be found here. Information about program can be found there, all sorts of stuff. So we just wanted to give you a brief overlook of this. Okay. If you have more questions about needing to find stuff on the website, let us know, but we also went through it in good detail. This form right here, the Leader's Guide, is going to be your best guide to get you through everything. Okay. So be sure to recognize this document, read through it. If you have questions, let us know. At the very bottom of it, you will find the registration codes and grid. Okay, this will help you lay out Scout schedules. You can also find this form under Leaders Guides and Forums down here as its own thing. Okay. All righty. I do want to go ahead and mention before I do forget that we have Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel all constantly being updated. Please go on to those places. It's Raven Knob Scout Reservation on Facebook. It's at Raven Knob on Instagram. And it is the Raven Knob account, Camp Raven Knob account here on YouTube. Those of you that are here right now, if you would go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. That way, if we do have information come out and you're not able to join us, you'll get notified about it and we'll pop up first when you go on YouTube to learn how to wire an electrical switch, which is what most of us go to YouTube for, is to find out stuff we can do ourselves. So great tool. All righty. One of the main topics I know everyone wants to talk about, wants answers on, is COVID and how that will look this summer. Obviously, we are in a big, coming off of the spike at this point. We see a lot of regulations being loosened, and we just have no idea what on June 19th is going to look like, or July 3rd or July 31st, of how this could shape up. We are still waiting guidance from the governor as far as what he is expecting for overnight camps. That guidance has not been updated since July of last year. In July of last year, there were a lot of recommendations that he made that are still in place. And so we do expect some sort of regulation changes in the next few weeks. We are making several changes to how we are operating. You may remember, those of you that attended with us the past few years, probably remember the big tent that we had on the parade ground. At this point, we are not anticipating having the tent on the parade ground, but we do anticipate still doing 2-shift meals. It's not something that we love doing by any means, but it's something that we think at this point is still a necessity. As many of you may remember attending Raven Knob prior to 2020, we would put about 900 to 1,000 people in the dining hall, and we're just not to that point yet with our health and safety team. But we are looking at doing everything there at the dining hall, still having assemblies, getting back to that and getting back to some of the fun and spirit that summer camp is about, and a little bit of normality. If anybody has any questions about anything with COVID, feel free to reach out, because we're still processing it daily and trying to figure out how in the world we're going to make this work. We've done it the past 2 years as best as we can. We've got a great mitigation plan, working with our local authorities on making sure everybody stays safe as possible at their time at Raven Knob. But we're going to continue to do that, and we're very excited about trying to get back some of those normal things that summer camp's all about and that we're all used to, but also be as safe as possible given the current environment and where we are at the time. So you work with us on that. We'll work with you, and we'll try to make it as easy and as fun for everybody. All right. Just to go ahead and mention, all right, since February 15th, the unit count has been open on Tenaroo. So where you could go in, update your unit count, pay your $150 deposits, and getting ready for March 15th when session registration goes live. Next Tuesday, 9 a.m., the system will let you go in, start adding those kids' names to the system and plugging them in. So at this point, I am going to turn it over to Nate, who's going to walk us through this process. We're going to get through it. We went through this again about a month ago when we were here. It's actually exactly a month ago. It was February 7th. We went through this process already. So we just want to do a quick refresher of what it's like to get to this. If you haven't done your unit count, maybe you already have, and things like that. Also, there's some crucial stuff that if you need us to look at it to make sure you're good to go for the 15th, we can do that. There's this little orange bar that many of you may see that is going to not be your friend at 9 a.m. on March 15th that may say you need to add $50, which is the common theme. Add $50 or $150, $250, and we'll explain some of that here.
Yep.
Make sure everybody's prepared. So Nate, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Right.
Do you want to use my screen, or are you going to share?
I'll share mine.
Okay.
Can you hear me fine?
Yep.
All right, perfect. But before I share our screen, just want to answer a couple questions I saw in the comments. Casey asked if they can register our kids when they check in at camp. We don't recommend that because your kids are probably not going to get many of the sessions that they want. So if there's like 1 or 2 sessions for a scout that they aren't sure about, you can register those last minute, but we recommend you register your scouts as early as possible so that they get classes they would actually want. Monica asked, can 2 people use the same Tenaroo? Each troop should only have 1 Tenaroo account, but 2 people should not use it at the same time. So you don't need to have 2 people going in and logging in and trying to do session registration at the same time, because what that's going to do is there's a big chance that it'll just mess up everything you're trying to do, and you won't get anything. So only 1 person needs to do that at a time. And I'll tell you our recommendation on how to handle those scouts that might have classes that we know will fill up pretty quickly, how you can handle them. All right, so first off, I'm going to share my screen. Share screen, and then tab, and then make sure we see that. Do y'all see the Tenaroo, Hunter?
We do now.
All right, awesome. All right, so when you log into your account, you'll see something similar to this. You won't see this admin tab at the bottom. You'll see your week here, and it'll say my events. So this right here is our provisional account. So that's why they're registered, and this is where we put all our provisionals. But for purposes tonight, this will kind of explain everything you need. So you see right here, it'll all in orange, it'll tell you when it opens. So March 15th, like Hunter said, at 9 a.m. You click on that, and then you're going to be brought to your summary page. At the top here, it'll be our financial summary. At the below, it'll say how many spots you've registered, you have. So right now we have 7 spots for youth, 3 for adults. If you need to increase those before next week, you just hit manage spots and you can increase it on the go there. All right. When Hunter was talking about the importance of the 150 payment, that is 150 per scout. We don't require any deposit for adults. Now, if you paid your campsite deposit from last year, you already have $100 credit on your account. So if you have, you need to have at least an extra 50 in there if you're counting on that to count for the rest of your scouts, because otherwise it will ask you when you get to registration, it'll say something. I believe it's up here. It'll say right above registration, hey, you need to do $50 before you can register your scouts. Okay. So just make sure that you do that math in your head. If you got 10 scouts, 10 times 150 is 1,500. Make sure that this right here, you have 1,500 has been paid. Okay. All right. So next, does anybody have any questions? Let me check the comments really quick. I think we are good. Perfect. All right. So next week when you're going in to register, you'll log in around 9 a.m. You're going to go down to participants here, and you should see how many spots left you have. So if you have 10 scouts, you'll see the 10 scouts here. Just going to hit the plus sign. We're just going to choose a random name. I won't save this. And then we're going to select youth. If they're a scout, it's only going to be a youth. The reason it says participant type for adults, there's 2 different participant types. You're going to hit next. Then you're going to start typing in their sections. The first initial one might take it a second, but then it'll go. So this is, make sure you have your sessions laid out for each scout by order, because that's kind of how they show up. So it starts with first period and 100s, and then it goes to, the 6th period and the 100s. So we're going to add nature for the scout. We're going to add fish and wildlife. And you'll notice it takes away everything that's competing against that. So you cannot register for 2 first sessions or 2 second sessions. So we're got a free session for him. We're going to add something with a fee. So let me find one of those. Basketry. And then we'll do rep and amp. And then option. All right. So when we get everything else in there, you'll see on the right here their schedule for the day. So you can double check really quick at a glance, make sure that schedule is how you want it. All right, perfect. If you want to add a photo for anybody, you're just going to add troop photo, and then you're going to hit next. And then it'll ask you to confirm, and you're going to hit complete. Then you'll go down and do the exact same thing for your scout. You'll see when you register a scout, it's going to have a green shopping cart. That means you're not completely done yet. when you've got your scouts ready, you're going to go to your shopping cart up here, click the cart, and then you're going to hit checkout. All right. We're going to make sure that we put here no payments, and then we'd place to order. I'm not going to place to order because I don't want to check this out. All right. So that's going to be where you go to do all your scouts. Now, here's what I would recommend for scouts. If you have a couple scouts that are wanting to do high participant sessions, and they have low thresholds, kind of like ATV, shotgun shooting, shooting sports. What are some other ones, Hunter? Rampage, some stuff that's going to have high interest. I would recommend you go ahead and register those scouts first, and then check out to get their schedules locked in, and then go in and register like your first year session.
Yeah. So some other ones, just go ahead and hit on that. Metalwork is also one that can fill up quickly. Also, some of the Eagle required badges do at times fill up quickly. You know, in the Trail to Eagle section, that you might have a session that fills up quickly, but not normally all of them are full. So you might have to rework your schedule. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this in there. We are offering cooking merit badge this summer. Okay, we are offering cooking, and I will tell you, anytime we've offered cooking merit badge, it is normally something that fills up quickly.
And it fills up, and we offer multiple sessions, but it always fills up. So just register those scouts for the sessions that might fill up. You can go back and add like your first year scouts with like Raven Scouts and basketry after you get in. So that would be our recommendation. I'm going to answer some questions really quick. Randall McKenzie said, paying by check, mail those to council office best. Randall, would actually be best if you just pay by check directly in Tenaroo. When you go to your checkout for your unit deposit, you can actually do it as an e-check. So you just need a physical check, and you can put everything in just like a normal credit card payment with the check, and it'll debit it from your troop account, not from a credit card. So Wilson Pina asked, what about if session has additional fees? Do I need to pay that amount in additional to 150? No, we don't charge for the session fees until the very end, right before you come to camp. So the only thing you will have to have is 150. Hunter and I and the registration team looked through everything to make sure we didn't have any of those activated for required upfront payment. But in the event that one pops up, you know, there's hundreds of merit badges that we do every week. And the event one pops up, send an email to hunter@ravenknob.com or registration@ravenknob.com, and we'll deactivate that so you don't have to do it. We checked everything and double checked it, but just, you know, there's probably 800 some merit badges in those weeks. So there's a chance we missed one. And so I just don't want you to think, but you should not have to pay for those up front. Let's see. Where do we find the sessions offered for each merit badge? There's a program grid, like Hunter said, on ravenknob.com, and you'll be able to see that there. The session schedule, Paul, is already available. You can see it in the Leader's Guide. It's been available since the Leader's Guide came out, and it will not change. Anthony, yes, you can go back and add sessions later for Scouts. And then we'll just ask this right here. Tracy's asking, why does your screen show 7 of 7 registered, but on my account it shows 0 of 16? I've paid the 160 deposit because we placed the provisional scouts into the troop, and so that's why they're showing up there. So you can go ahead and create all your scouts, but they're not going to be placed into their slots until they get to the 15th.
Yeah, Nate, I'll answer some of these too. Kay wrote, can we change registrations if we make a mistake or if a scout changes their mind? Absolutely, you can do that. And if you have trouble doing that, just shoot us an email and we can get that squared away. High Adventures, Rampage, and Cripple Creek once signed up, do those scouts need to add any other merit badge classes? No, they will be at those sessions the entire week. Rampage will be mostly off-site, and the Cripple Creek program is at camp but is out in the backcountry.
Angie,
so everything's squared away.
And Angie asked, can you add scouts' names? Yes, you can fill out your roster prior to registration opening, and we would recommend that. You'll just go to the roster at the bottom of the page, and then once that the 15th comes around, you can just go in and add youth and then find their name and then add their sessions. So you can pre-fill their rosters.
Yep. Is climbing only high adventure, no merit badge? No, climbing is the merit badge. It's for 3 hours, but it is the merit badge. They will complete the merit badge while at camp.
And Thomas asked, for each scout participant, do you need just their names for registration? You'll need all their info. So that's why I would recommend go ahead and doing it up front. The one thing in the, I don't believe is carried over, I could be wrong. Hunter, remind me from last year, is just make sure that you have, like, if you don't know their t-shirt size and stuff, you can just put in a t-shirt size when you're doing registration and then go back and fix it after.
Right.
It won't remove a scout if you make changes to their t-shirt from any classes.
And you can see right here, I'm going to give you an idea. Actually, I need to switch over. I apologize. Over to a troop one. But hitting the manage my group and go ahead and getting this in here. We'll just pick a kid. These are the things that you'll need. First, last name, date of birth, t-shirt size, gender. You won't have to put their grade in. But those are the things that we're going to need, contact information. So those things. And you can do this right now. Go ahead and go to the Manage My Group section from your home screen here. Manage My Group, and you can get in there. And this video, again, will be available for replay as soon as it's over. So as you're doing this next week, just have it playing if you want to, so you can go through and make sure you've got it all squared away. But there you go.
All right. Was there any other questions for registration?
I think we're good right now. I will say at times when you go in here and you're going to pay. So we'll just click on this one. When it pops up, when you get done putting in your unit count, it's going to give you a number right here. At times, sometimes you'll need to do math because it will and has done $50 off than what is needed. Because we put in $100 from your campsite deposit, if it's already in the system, which it should be, it's going to leave $50 that you are going to need to pay to make a full scout. So at times you'll need to do that. If you're not sure that you need to, you just need to take this number right here. You've got 7 kids registered, times that by 150, and then make sure that's the amount that you've already paid. If you want to check that, you want to see what you've paid, if you hit this reports button and pull an invoice, okay, it'll show you what you paid and when you paid it. You can also see that by going back home and hitting your previous orders button right here. You can see everything that you paid down through here.
And Hunter,
yep, go ahead.
Go back to that home tab.
Sure.
Because I think it will show up there. Yeah, it shows your total and the balance. So it's basing that off the total you're forecasting. So if your balance, yeah. So the invoice is probably the best way to pull it.
So answer some of these questions. Is it possible to cancel a scout altogether if they drop out? Yes, that is possible, but you will need to email registration@ravendob.com and we will have to take them out. Okay. Yes, you need to get your kids entered. If they've had, well, you'll just need to make sure their contact information, everything is correct. For Casey, you just need to make sure that their t-shirt size and everything like that is correct. It will already be in there from the previous year.
If they've been to camp, we don't delete them. We import new scouts in Old Hickory Council only. Hopefully one day they'll allow it for other councils, but we import new scouts. But if they've been there, we don't delete them every summer. They should still be there.
Yep.
And Antonio said, do you have to fill out contact information before registering merit badges? Yes, because it might show up as optional on your roster, but the event requires different requirements. So I would go ahead and fill out the contact information for everyone. Is there a Rowdy Raven in there? So yeah, these will show optional, but I know some things are required. Date of birth is required, gender is required, t-shirts required, and then you have that emergency contact at the bottom that is required. So you'll want to have all that stuff entered, and it will flag you when you're going through and say, hey, you're missing this. It'll show up as red. If you don't have that at the time of registration, just like with your t-shirt, just put a number in there and then go back and fix it.
Yep. BSA ID is not required. So not required for this.
Well,
all right.
Hunter, do you need anything else? I'm going to peace out.
I think we're good, Nate. I know you got to run. Appreciate you being here. But I think we're good here. We can take it from there. I appreciate it, Nate. Thank you.
All right, see y'all later.
All righty. So we're gonna bring Max and Ash back in here because we're gonna switch over to some program stuff that Ash will have for us. So Ash, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'd like to start by talking about a couple things with our Sunday check-in process for camp, kind of what to expect whenever you arrive for the summer. The check-in process at Raven Knob begins at 1 p.m. on Sunday, but that does not mean you necessarily all have to show up right at 1 o'clock p.m. Like we've been doing the past couple of years. As the date gets closer, we'll send out an email with an opportunity for you to sign up for an arrival time, kind of I guess scattered throughout the afternoon. Most people will arrive at camp usually between about 1 p.m. and maybe 3:30, somewhere in there. And that'll give you time to kind of complete your check-in process over the course of Sunday afternoon prior to the beginning of supper. The check-in process involves a couple different things. When you arrive at camp, you'll go directly to your campsite. You don't need to go to the admin building or the dining hall or anything like that. Head on straight to the campsite. And once you get there, a member of our staff will be there to help kind of guide you through the check-in process. And then pretty soon after arriving at the campsite, you'll need to get ready for your camp tour and other check-in activities, which involves a little bit of walking around camp. Every campsite will have a regional station to go to where a check-in team from the admin staff will be and a check-in team from our health staff. Part of that, so the first step there would be the administrative check-in and health screenings for everybody who arrives at camp. After that, you'll kind of continue throughout the afternoon doing things like your troop photo, a camp tour, and stopping by the aquatics area for the orientation there and swim tests if necessary. I do want to talk about swim tests real fast. A lot of units choose to do those in advance. We recommend that if you want to not have to do that first thing when you get to camp on Sunday. If you wouldn't mind pulling up the website for me, I can kind of show people how to get to that. On ravennob.com, if you go to the top, there's a couple ways to get to it, but notably under program is probably one of the easier ways to get to it. Under the program tab up top and click on aquatics. In that right-hand menu over there, there's a place that says swim checks. And if you click on that, it's near the top. There you go. This is our swim check page. Notably, in order to participate in most of the activities at the waterfront and all the aquatics merit badges, Scouts do have to pass the swim test. Of course, open swim times and open boating times are open to anybody, regardless of swimming ability. So what's printed there is if you're interested in doing swim tests in advance prior to coming to camp, this is kind of the process for that. They need to be authorized by someone who's trained in safe swim defense, aquatic supervision, or as a lifeguard. Those qualifications are there. Further down the form on here, further down the page, there's a place where you can actually download a pre-camp swim check form. That's where you can look there to fill out that form for your troop. A lot of camps have forms kind of like that, but that's ours. That form you can bring with you on check-in, or you can actually submit it right here on this very page. You can upload the file right there, and that will send it on to us, and we'll have it ready for you whenever you arrive at camp. I'm going to go ahead and address Jen's question here that says, does everyone have to take a swim test? I have one with a medical issue that can't swim in natural water and one that just doesn't ever swim or do any water-based merit badges. We do, our swimming activities are in a lake, so we don't have a pool, so I can't really do anything about that. But regarding like everybody taking a swim test, we're not going to force everyone to go in the lake necessarily. It's certainly stopping by the aquatics area is kind of part of the general camp tour on Sunday check-in. But I'll kind of leave that up to individual leaders' discretions on what should be done with the Scouts and their troop. We certainly encourage people to stay as involved as possible and don't want to really isolate any Scouts from kind of getting the rest of that experience. But no, if they're not going to swim in the lake, they don't necessarily have to jump in on Sunday if they're not going to be going the entire week. So that's kind of what's going on with that. And the rest of the tour kind of continues throughout the afternoon. You'll kind of run through a couple of those places in camp. And then the kind of next big thing would be supper that night at the dining hall, and then our opening campfire Sunday night with plenty of fun skits and things like that. So that's kind of our Sunday check-in process. While we're going here on some other things that I'll talk about, some exciting program things for the summer, I want to talk about our twilight activities. This is under the program tab over there. That's the fancy term at Raven Knob for the fun stuff you get to do in the evening when you're at camp. Every night of the week, we've got activities after supper open for people to participate in. On Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday nights, we have campfires in the arena. We have a Vespers service most nights of the week. And additionally, on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, those nights without campfires, there's lots of different activities to do around camp after supper is over in various program areas. And right here on the Twilight Activities page on our website is a tentative but pretty certain listing of what we'll be offering this summer. They're kind of on a schedule throughout the week. You can click on one of these pages and it'll tell you about kind of what happens at those various things. There's all kinds of stuff there, from stuff at the waterfront and handicrafts and field trips and all kinds of fun things to do in the evenings. These are all open programs. You can just kind of show up and participate in. The only exception to that is if troops are interested in doing open shooting in the evenings, they need to sign up for those on Sunday whenever they arrive. But everything else is pretty much just show up. You're welcome to kind of browse those things on your own as you're kind of getting ready for the summer. I'd also encourage you to get your scouts on the website, kind of looking around at the stuff to do. There's a lot of really great information about the program on the program tab, all the different program areas, twilight activities, things like that. They can look at some pictures and read up on some of the stuff they can do during the week. One more program related thing I'll talk about is some stuff for adult leaders. At Raven Knob, we have a lot of different programs for adults, and right there under the program tab, if you click on adult leader programs, there'll be a page right here that tells you all the stuff you can do this week. Now, I mean, some adults really enjoy just kind of relaxing for the week and hammocking in their campsite or whatever that might be, and that's totally fine. We've got a Scoutmaster's Lounge at the program center with comfy couches and fans and things like that, which you're welcome to. Wi-Fi, there we go. Welcome to make use of those things. But also there's a lot of activities and training courses and stuff throughout the week that I'd highly recommend you participate in. So right there's a few training courses, whether that's stuff at aquatics, climbing, CPR, introduction to outdoor leader skills. You can click on view schedule and it'll actually bring you to a list of those courses and kind of when they meet and where they meet. That is still currently tentative, but we'll certainly have a finalized schedule by the time you arrive, so you'll know kind of what to expect with that. There's also a few other things down below. There's a lot of activities throughout the week that adults are encouraged to participate with the scouts with, whether that's going swimming or doing the mile swim, going biking, playing disc golf, things like that. These are sort of standard sessions that a lot of scouts sign up for, and adults are welcome to as well. One thing that I'll mention too is that particularly with Cripple Creek and Rampage program, if adults are interested in participating in those, they're certainly welcome to, but they do need to register in advance through Tinaroo. With any of these activities, the training sessions and these sessions here, all of those are open and available for adults on Tinaroo. So in the same way that you sign up your scouts for their merit badge sessions starting next week, you are more than welcome and encouraged to sign up your adults for sessions as well if they want to do any of the trainings or other activities. That's not nearly as important as getting the scouts in place. With the adult programs, pretty much all of them except for Cripple Creek and Rampage are you're welcome to just walk in and show up on the first day and participate from there. And there's also some fun stuff down there. There's Scoutmaster Merit Badge, which is a list of a lot of different activities throughout the week that kind of give you a tour of camp and have some fun stuff to do throughout the week. There's actually some requirements. You got to do some stuff, volunteer here or there, and hike the knob and things like that. So there's a lot of different things for that. And then there's also some other options for leaders as far as a cooking competition and playing softball and lots of other fun stuff. I'm more than happy to talk with you about any of those things or come up with an idea for what your week might look like at camp. My contact information, I believe, is further up this page. You're welcome to reach out to me if you got any questions about what adults can do throughout the week. There's a question from Matthew that says, can adults sign up for training at camp? And the answer to that is absolutely. If you scroll back up to the top of this page, all of those things listed there, the training courses and the activities with the scouts, those sessions exist in Tinaroo for the adults as well. So whenever you are working on planning and getting things registered at some point prior to your arrival in the summer, go in there and register adults for those. whether that's the CPR training or one of the aquatics training courses or participating in Rampage or doing disc golf or whatever that might be. Adults are encouraged to sign up in advance for those things. And like I said, walk-ins are welcome as well. I think that's about all I've got as far as program stuff. Are there any other questions you need to answer or other things that I should talk about?
Not for program ends, but we do appreciate the information, Ash. I will go ahead and mention those folks who are able to get signed up for the ATV course. There is information in here under the program tab. We try to keep the website as up to date as possible. Sometimes there's a page deep down in there that we maybe forget about or hadn't seen in a while. But a lot of these, the main pages here get updated quite a bit. Any scout that does get signed up for the ATV experience has a prerequisite of taking an ATV online training course beforehand. Okay. And you can find this course here. And so it's through the ATV Safety Institute. You do not have to pay anything. You might get to a point where it says you have to pay. It's only for certain states where you have to pay. We're looking for the free course. But it does take some time to go through. It's a couple hours, but this has to be done, and it has to be brought to camp and presented to the instructor the first day. If they do not have it, we can try to go get it, but I can tell you from experience, it is not easy going to locate these forms. I believe Ash did that last year for several scouts, and they were better off just to go ahead and take the course again, which we will not be doing. So it needs to be done before you get there. Okay. 14 years and older, that we talked a little bit about this last time about age recommendations and requirements. We'll go ahead and mention that again now. There are some sessions that the scout and the parent and the unit may feel comfortable with them being under one of our recommended ages. If that is the case, the system will not let you register for it, and you do need to reach out to us. The reason we do that, and we get a lot of questions, is several other camps maybe don't have as strict requirements about that, and some may have stricter. We try to make sure that camp is an enjoyable experience for your scout, and also an enjoyable experience for the other people in the session. There are certain times where either a scout is not either mature or physically able to participate in certain sessions, and that's why we have that there, is to ensure that the camp can go by smoothly and not have issues. But we do understand that there are some kids who are much more mature than 12-year-olds that they surround themselves with, or more mature than the older kids. And so we're willing to work with you, but there are some sessions that we can't work with you on, ATVs being one of those, our Rampage program, just to mention. So you will see those requirements in the grid, recommendations and requirements in the grid. So be sure to take a look at those. But all you have to do is shoot us an email. We plug them in normally same day, get them into their sessions that they want to be in. Okay, but ATV experience, just make sure this training course is done. There are other requirements about wearing long sleeve shirt, long pants, boots that cover the ankle, and things like that. I have gotten questions before about, can I bring my own ATV? No, that is not allowed. And the National Camp Accreditation Program requires the ATVs to be owned or leased by the local council. So please do not show up with an ATV to participate in this session or to ride around camp in. Okay. While we're talking about things that move, we do have some folks that are unable to get around camp. We mentioned this in the previous webinar about golf carts or UTVs that may be needed for folks that have a disability or just aren't able to get around the way that they can. We understand that Raven Knob is a mountainous camp. We do have hills around. If you are planning to bring a UTV, you need to reach out to me as quickly as possible so we can get you guys on the training that is required for that. It does require special training. There actually is going to be a new training for golf carts that we will announce to you guys at a later date. We're just in the process of getting that together. Okay, so there's some more information for you. Let's talk about the dining hall real quick. I know we mentioned this before. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and drop this because we don't need it for a few minutes. We do our best to accommodate special diets at the dining hall. We work with gluten-free, vegetarian, things of that nature. There are times where we do have scouts that have several allergies on top of themselves. We've seen scouts that have soy, peanut, gluten allergies, which it does become difficult at times to make sure that they get a meal that's, provided for them. And so we will work with you. We will make sure kids and leaders get fed with their special diets, but there is a way that you can help us as well. First thing is to submit the special diet form that's located on the website under the Leaders Guides and Forms. Fill that out and get it to camp as quickly as possible for us. You can email that in or send it to the dining hall email where our folks can look at it once they get to camp. For special diets only, if a scout or a leader would like to bring some meals with them, that we do have space in our dry storage and refrigerator freezer space to store some of those things. Unfortunately, we can only do that for special diets. We're feeding normally about 17,000 meals a week, so we've got a whole lot of stuff in the back of our kitchen, and so we are only able to store stuff for folks that have special diets. You can also keep stuff in your campsite, but we're happy to keep stuff there, especially if a scout has a high allergy and they go through the line and see something that they, would prefer they just have something that they brought with them. We try to give them that option. Okay. So you can, we'll be happy to work with you on that. If you do have questions, I get these a lot. Parents that have kids with several allergies that want to talk to us, feel free to give them my contact information. I talk to parents on a weekly basis, especially about special diets, come up with the best plan to serve that scout. We want a kid to come to camp. We don't want them to be afraid. And we know that some parents have a tough time knowing that their kid's going somewhere where they're not able to help. And so we want to provide that best experience and get that information to them, make sure they have a good time, get the food that they want, and move on. So we try to take the headache out of it. Just reach out to us and we're happy to help. All right. Moving on. I know some folks still aren't assigned to a campsite. I'm working through that as quickly as I can. If you go look at our campsite grid for the summer, you can see that thing is about slap full. So we're doing some shuffle on some things and this and that, but we're going to get everybody squared away over the next few weeks. It just takes us a little bit of time to hunt through things and get that all taken away. We did get a question earlier about early arrivals. This is something that I love to talk about. We do take early arrivals at Raven Knob on Saturday afternoon, evening. If you guys are coming from a long distance and need to get there early, we more than welcome you. If you guys can come on Sunday, it's much easier for us as far as a check-in process. But we know folks coming from Florida and Illinois and Texas, we may have a train coming in to pick them up. We may have flights coming in, things like that. We can work with you on these Saturday arrivals. Folks that are coming, just need to come in on Saturday, we can work with you guys. At times, we are able to do some of the check-in process on Saturday for some of those folks coming in. But again, folks that can get here on Sunday with no problem, please come. We don't want to make this a free-for-all for everybody to come in on Saturday afternoons and evenings. It's a time for our camp to kind of reset, our staff to get sleep and kind of check back. So the folks that need to come in, we've got a team that's ready to work with you, get you set up. At times, we're able to do the health checks, swim checks, tours of camp, and that way you can enjoy Sunday. So all you have to do is shoot us an email, and that way we'll get it plugged into your account so we can expect you. As we get closer to camp, you're coming in that Saturday, let us know of an ETA so we can at least get all the information to you and hopefully have somebody come out and greet you if we're not able to do the check-in, make sure all of your needs are taken care of. So we do take those early arrivals. If you are planning to arrive by plane or train to Camp Raven Knob, same thing. You just need to let us know what you're looking at and see if we can make it possible. We'll do pickups for the Amtrak station, at the Greensboro High Point station, or at the Raleigh station. There is a station in Charlotte. It is a little bit more difficult for us, but we can do that as well. We also have flight folks that like to fly in. We've got folks that come from a long ways away that find it easier to fly. We do pickups from Charlotte or Greensboro. Okay, those are our two. So if you have questions about how that process works, we can work through it because we will be providing transportation. It's $40 a person from those respective areas back to camp. That's round trip, $40 per person. And we will normally settle that up at camp, or we'll get it added to your invoice if you need to pay it after. But we do that prior or after we get you all there. so we don't overcharge for you. All right. Max, I know you've got a few things. We've got some new forms that we've got out. Max, I'm going to throw it over to you, okay?
Sounds good. Yep. So like Hunter said, you probably saw this actually earlier when Hunter was exploring the Leader's Guide and form pages, but we actually have a new Parents Guide that was discussed as well on the last webinar. This Parents Guide sort of is every information that we could think of that parents might need to know before sending their kids to camp. It includes things of like what to pack, how to send them messages, things about visitor night. So you can view that on the Leader's Guide and Form page, and it is the very nice picture right there, the second one. And then, sorry, my internet is a little slow with a rainstorm rolling through. Yep, so this has things that parents might need to know before they send their scout to camp. All of this is hyperlinked, so if you want to send that out to them in an email, or they can view it directly on the website and click around and see exactly what they need to know. Also, one thing that I don't know if Hunter's going to cover this later on, but we did have a Scoutmaster notify us that our program grid had one mistake on it. If you were looking at this a couple of weeks ago, the disc golf experience had the wrong session code on the program grid. So if you had any scouts that you've already started to plan out a schedule for them, just note that the disc golf experience code should be 865 and not 864 as it was before. Or when you go into Tenru, you can just search for disc golf experience and it will pull it without a problem. But if you look it up by the code, just note that that has changed to 865. So just keep that in mind. That's all I can think of. Hunter, can you think of anything else?
As far as that goes, no, but I will say that the Parents Guide, we did reach out to several of our units that have been coming to Ravenod for a while to look it over and give suggestions. So hopefully that'll be a benefit to you guys. We think it will be, just to help as far as, how much money should I spend to go to the trading post? What should we pack? How can I work with my scout on their sessions for the week, if you do allow that? Sometimes that happens at the unit level, sometimes that happens at home. So we try to help with that. Talks about the special diets as well, and how they can reach out and making sure that we get them squared away. So be sure to share that. We will, during a follow-up, we will email that out to you, everyone, so that way you have it and can share it back to your families. But we hope that's an added benefit. If there's anything that, as you look through it, you say, hey, I think this would be excellent for you to add, we're all about it. Anything we can do to help all of our stakeholders with Ravenod, we're all about it. So making it easy on our families is definitely an A1. So anyways, let's see here.
I'm seeing one question that Lisa's got about the session codes. So the session codes are just an easier way for you to plan out a scout session by taking up less space. So we have some units that make like an Excel spreadsheet with each of their scouts and then 6 columns for each of the different sessions. And so it's just an easier way for you to go in and just type in a number instead of the full name of the session. And then when you go into Tenru, when you go to actually register for the sessions, you can either search for them by the name or by the session code itself. So it's just a different way that you can either plan ahead or actually search for them when you go to register. It's more for the back end, but we still offer it as a way to make it easier for you guys to take up less paper and make it easier to just type in 3 digits when you're searching for a session as well.
Yeah, and this is kind of crossover from our old system, and some of our folks have memorized it pretty well. They know more about it than we did. This system has been around longer than Max has probably been alive. So anyways, it works. It's just something that helps folks, and it used to have more meaning before Tenru when things were done in a much older system, but it helps us as far as from a management standpoint. But you can write these numbers down and roll from there. So anyways, I did get a question just a few minutes ago about health checks. I'll go ahead and mention that. Max, I think we're good with your screen. I'm going to take it down. There we go. About health checks, we do have an express check-in, and a lot of that revolves around getting your health forms sent in early, which we do recommend. That way we can go through, look at allergies and things of that nature and get it documented. Go ahead and get your buddy tags filled out and things like that. If you're going to send those health forms in, they must be mailed. It is against HIPAA rules to send those digitally, as we found out over the years. So please be sure to mail those to us at camp, which the address is listed on the website in the leader's guide. You can send those in. You still have to go through a health screening process. Once you arrive to camp, it's a little bit simpler. Rather than going through each health form, you still have to do a quick health recheck with our Health Lodge team. All right.
And one thing to add, when you actually go to mail it, make sure that on the mailing address you have attention Health Lodge. Yep. Actually arrives to camp, we know to just send it directly to them, and it doesn't just get sort of lost and thought of as junk mail or anything like that.
Absolutely. Got one question here that is one that we get often, and I'm going to show you guys how to get there. I posted the link. If a merit badge has a prereq, will that be clearly listed once registered? The Tenaroo system will not show that. We update that list on the website here, just under the program tab, all sessions / prerequisites. You can find this. At times, we do have to change these as we get updates from national on merit badges and things like that. This should be correct as it sits right now, but sometimes things come up and we're not able to get a certain thing, or we're unable to get in the van and go somewhere. So sometimes these change, but what we have now is ready to roll. Okay, so you can see these prerequisites listed out here for you guys to work on. As prerequisites, how they work, you can email us a list of scouts that have done their prerequisites. You can bring a list to us when you get to camp. We'll go ahead and plug it in, or your scout can take a letter from a unit leader to their session and give it to the instructors so they can sign off on it. So we have different ways, and we'll announce that at camp too, whichever way makes it easier for you guys. Okay. All right. I'm just looking back through my list here. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat as we're about to wrap up here. About 7 minutes over what I was thinking we were going to do. But again, we're going to keep doing these every, it's the first Monday of the month. So let me go ahead and get the April one out here. It'll be April 4th. April 4th, Monday, April 4th, we'll be back here for another webinar. And they'll be much shorter after this. We'll just start focusing on updates, promos, things of that nature, specific prerequisites like we mentioned. It'll be less about registration. So this is a great question here. If they don't do the prerequisite, will we get notified of what requirements they did not complete at camp? At the end of the week, you will get an advancement report that's printed from the Tenaroo system that shows what has been completed and what hasn't. And you can access that at any point in time. On the Tenaroo site after camp or 2 years later. But if you do need it, you can reach out to us. We can get it. Our inclement weather policy, I'm pretty sure is on the website, and we can share that with you guys. We have different policies in place that we will announce to everybody once they arrive at camp. We have an emergency signal that goes through our PA system and various things. So we've got different plans for thunderstorms, tornadoes, and that nature, most of which revolves around getting to a secured building and out of the campsite at times. We hold campsites. We hold our sessions when we have thunderstorms. So keep that in mind. If we have a thunderstorm, we're going to hold everybody in place for a while.
And one thing, Hunter, to piggyback on that,
yep.
Most of the time, let's say for like example in aquatics, if it's like a thunderstorm or something on Monday, and so they're not allowed to go out onto the water or swim, canoeing, kayaking, whatever that may be, usually the instructors will try and adjust the material that they cover each day so that the scouts still get the chance to get those requirements that happen on the water or can't happen on a day that there might be thunder or lightning. So we do our best to try and accommodate that, but depending on the week and the weather, there are some times that does not happen. But like I said, most of the time we do try and accommodate that and shuffle schedules around during the week so that every scout gets the same exact experience every week.
Yep. Here's a great question about Raven Scouts. What are they going to be accomplishing during the week? You can find that here on the website. It'll list out all of these requirements for both the Raven Scout session and the Senior Raven Scouts. Again, this is under the program tab, so you can find it there. And we will also give a list when you guys check out at the end of the week. It'll be in your packet. That's a great question about Tinaroo, and I'm going to just show you really quickly. Go ahead and pull that up. Do we need blue cards, or does Tinaroo have a program which prints them out, or do we just use an advanced report? All of the above is okay. So Tinaroo does have a way that you can print out. You hit this reports, blue cards front, blue cards back. You can print those out. But we will only be giving out that advancement report. You can do these blue cards back at home. Old Hickory Council is not a blue card council, and that's something to keep in mind. If you showed up to a session and hand a blue card to one of our instructors, they're probably going to look at you like, what in the world is this? It's going to be a foreign object, just because the Old Hickory Council does not use them. So you can print those here and get all your requirements completed and everything, spreadsheet or a PDF version, all right here in the Tinaroo side. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end this tonight. I appreciate everybody being here with us. Again, stay up to date, Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We noticed about 19 folks have gone ahead and subscribed. That way you get up to date information on when we schedule these or have them, or you missed them and things like that. So be sure to go ahead and do that. If you have questions, again, our emails are below. Reach out to us any point in time. We're always happy to help. And we are very excited about Summer Camp 2022. We got a lot of good things coming. Right now, we've got scouts coming from 14 states, and that could trickle up. We have 286 troops that will be joining us this summer, and we are very excited to provide a great scouting program at Camp Raven Knob for all you guys. Well, those of you that haven't been with us before, we're excited to welcome you to our home and share that with you, and hope you enjoy it. So anything we can do, let us know. And Greg Roberts does give up a great point, comes to camp with us each year. We do have a stamp in the office that we can put a name on those for you. If you want to bring some blue cards by and want them stamped, we can do that for you guys. All you got to do is bring them by, and we'll have a staff member start stamping. So, all right, folks. Thank you for being here. Max, thank you for all of your assistance, and also big thanks to Ash and Nate. And we'll see you guys on April 4th for our next webinar. And if you need anything, reach out. Thank you.